By 1206, Genghis Khan had done what no one in history had ever done before. He had taken the most chaotic, violent, fragmented region on Earth, the Mongolian steppe, and hammered it into a single unified empire. Every tribe that had spent centuries slaughtering each other was now marching under one banner. His banner. But unifying the steppe was not the goal. It never was. It was just the beginning. Because Genghis Khan looked at the world beyond the steppe, the wealthy cities, the powerful empires, the kingdoms drowning in gold, and he made a decision that would kill millions of people and reshape civilization forever. He decided to take all of it. If you haven't watched episode 1 yet, the link is in the description. That's where we covered how Temujin went from an abandoned child on the steppe to the most powerful man in Central Asia. Today we pick up right where that left off, and I'm warning you now, this episode gets dark. Let's start with China, because China is where the world first learns what Genghis Khan actually is. The Xisha kingdom sits in northwestern China, right on the edge of Mongol territory. They are wealthy, well-defended, and have been raiding Mongol borders for years. In 1209, Genghis Khan launches his first major campaign beyond the steppe. The Xisha have walls. They have fortifications. They have everything a defending army needs. It doesn't matter. Genghis doesn't smash headfirst into their defenses like most steppe raiders would. He cuts off their supply lines. He destroys their farmland. He raids their outer territories until they are economically bleeding. Then he waits. The Xisha eventually negotiate. They pay tribute. They submit. Genghis Khan accepts it, for now. He has bigger targets in mind. The Jin Dynasty controls northern China. This is a massive, ancient, sophisticated empire with tens of millions of people, heavily fortified cities, and a professional army. They have been looking down at the Mongols for generations, literally paying other steppe tribes to raid and weaken the Mongols so they would never become a serious threat. That strategy has just failed completely in 1211. Genghis Khan invades the Jin Dynasty with an army of roughly 100,000 men. The Jin have walls. They have millions of soldiers. On paper, it should be no contest. But Genghis Khan has something the Jin don't. He has captured Chinese engineers. He has spent years studying how sieges work, how walls fall, how cities break. His army arrives with siege weapons, catapults, fire weapons, battering rams, things a Mongol army was never supposed to have. The Jin are stunned. City after city falls. The Mongols don't just defeat armies in open battle. They systematically dismantle the entire defensive structure of northern China. By 1215, the Jin capital Zhengdu, modern-day Beijing, falls. The Jin emperor flees south. The campaign against northern China goes on for years because the Jin keep fighting. But the outcome is never really in doubt after that first invasion. Northern China is broken. Hundreds of thousands are dead. Entire cities are emptied, and Genghis Khan turns west. This is where the story takes a turn that even his most brutal earlier campaigns didn't prepare the world for. The Khwarezmian Empire. If you've never heard of it, that's partly because of what happens next. This empire stretches across modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. It is fabulously wealthy. Its cities, Samarkand, Bukhara, Urgench, are among the most sophisticated and cultured in the entire medieval world. Centers of science, art, architecture, trade, the crown jewels of the Islamic world. In 1218, Genghis Khan sends a trade caravan to the Khwarezmian Empire. 450 merchants, a genuine attempt at opening trade relations. The Khwarezmian governor of the border city Otrar accuses them of being spies and has them all executed. Every single one. Genghis Khan sends diplomats to the Khwarezmian Shah, Muhammad II, demanding justice and the surrender of the governor. The Shah executes the lead diplomat, shaves the heads of the others and sends them back as a humiliation. This is possibly the single most catastrophic diplomatic mistake in human history. In 1219, Genghis Khan mobilizes everything. Somewhere between 100,000 and 200,000 soldiers march west. But the numbers alone don't tell the story. What follows is not just a military campaign. It is a systematic destruction unlike anything the medieval world has ever seen. Otrar, the city where the merchants were killed, is besieged for 5 months. When it falls, the governor who ordered the massacre is executed by having molten silver poured into his eyes and ears. Poetic justice, Mongol style. Then the real campaign begins, Bukhara, one of the greatest cities in the Islamic world. A city of scholars, mosques, libraries, and hundreds of thousands of people. The Mongols arrive and the garrison flees. The population surrenders hoping for mercy. Genghis Khan rides into the great mosque, reportedly stands on the pulpit, and tells the people that he is the punishment of God, that if they had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like him. Then the city burns, Samarkand, the capital. Even larger, even wealthier. The garrison fights. The population surrenders. The garrison is executed. The craftsmen and skilled workers are separated from the rest and sent east to work for the Mongol Empire. The rest of the population is marched out of the city, and the Mongols take everything of value. Tens of thousands die. Urgench, the last major city. It resists the longest. When it finally falls, the Mongols reportedly kill so many people that they reroute a river through the city to wash away the bodies. City after city, province after province. The Khwarezmian Shah flees across his own empire, chased by a dedicated Mongol force, dying as a refugee on a small island in the Caspian Sea. His empire, one of the most powerful in the world just 2 years earlier, ceases to exist. The scale of destruction in Central Asia during this campaign is almost impossible to comprehend. Historians estimate that the population of Iran alone dropped by anywhere from 50 to 75% over the following decades as a result of the Mongol invasion and its aftermath. Cities that had existed for thousands of years simply never recovered. Irrigation systems built over centuries were destroyed and never rebuilt. Entire regions that were once fertile farmland turned to desert. This is not conquest in the traditional sense. This is erasure, but while all of this is happening in the West, problems are brewing closer to home. Genghis Khan has 4 sons by his primary wife Berta, Jochi, Chagatai, Ogadai, and Tolui, and the question of succession is slowly poisoning the family from the inside. Jochi is the eldest, but there has always been a shadow over him. Berti was abducted by the Merkits early in the marriage, and Yoki was born shortly after her rescue. No one says it out loud, no one who wants to live anyway, but the question hangs in the air. Is Joki truly Genghis Khan's son? Genghis Khan publicly treats Jochi as his heir, but Chagatai, the second son, openly despises Jochi and questions his legitimacy to anyone who will listen. The tension between the brothers is dangerous, so Genghis Khan makes a decision. He names Ogadai, the third son, more diplomatic, more even-tempered, as his successor. It solves the immediate problem but plants the seeds of future conflict that will eventually tear the empire apart. But that is a problem for after his death. In 1226, Genghis Khan returns to finish a piece of unfinished business. The Shisha kingdom, the ones who submitted and paid tribute back in 1209, had refused to send troops to support the Khwarezmian campaign. In the world of Genghis Khan, that is unforgivable. He launches a final campaign against them at the age of around 60. By the standards of his era, he is an old man. He has been at war almost continuously for over 2 decades. His body has taken the punishment of a lifetime of campaigning. During the Shisha campaign, Genghis Khan suffers a serious fall from his horse. Some sources say he is never fully the same after it. He continues directing the campaign from his tent as his health deteriorates through the brutal winter campaign. In August 1227, with the Shisha capital on the verge of final surrender, Genghis Khan dies. The exact cause is debated by historians to this day. Some say it was injuries from the fall. Some say an illness he picked up during the campaign. Some later sources claim the Shisha queen poisoned him. Nobody knows for certain. He is somewhere between 60 and 65 years old. His final wishes are remarkable for the man who spent his life demanding recognition and power. He orders his death kept secret until the Shisha surrender is complete, so the campaign can finish as he intended. He orders that his burial place be kept hidden forever, so that no one can find his tomb and disturb his rest. The secrecy around his burial is so extreme that, according to legend, everyone who witnessed the burial procession was killed to protect the secret. A river was reportedly diverted over the gravesite. Horses were driven back and forth over the ground to erase any trace. To this day, the tomb of Genghis Khan has never been found, but his death is not the end of the story. It is almost the beginning, because what Genghis Khan built The administrative structure, the military machine, the network of conquered territories, doesn't collapse when he dies. His son Ogedei takes over and keeps the engine running. The Mongol Empire continues to expand after Genghis Khan's death, eventually becoming the largest contiguous land empire in human history. Under his successors, the Mongols conquer the rest of China, destroy the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad, one of the most devastating single events in Islamic history, sweep through Russia, Poland, and Hungary, and push to the edges of Western Europe before finally stopping. The empire Genghis Khan built with his own hands ends up covering 24 million square kilometers, 1/4 of the entire land surface of the earth. Roughly 40 million people are killed in the process of building and maintaining it. Some estimates go higher. The man who was left for dead on the steppe as a child ends up reshaping the entire world. So where does that leave us? We've covered the rise. We've covered the campaigns and the fall. We know what he built and we know what he destroyed. We know the scale of the violence and we know the scale of the achievement. Which brings us to episode 3, the one that matters most. Was Genghis Khan a hero or a villain? Was he a liberator or a monster? Was he a product of his time doing what any conqueror would have done? Or was he something unique and uniquely terrifying? That episode is coming, and I promise you the answer is not simple. Subscribe so you're there when it drops. And drop a comment below. Before you watch episode 3, tell me where you stand right now. Hero or villain? Let's see how many of you change your mind. I'll see you in the next one.